is by far peak Jason for me. Peak for me. This movie, this director, this guy knew how to bring it back home, in my opinion.
Right, and he loves horror movies. He loves gothic horror movies.
Yes.
He tied those elements in, and it's a success. It's huge.
This movie is just so good. And so basically Jarvis is just cursed with Jason in his head. He has to go back to the grave. By doing so, through circumstances, they bring the body back to life, Frankenstein style. And now Jason wakes up. He finds out his home has kind of been gentrified a little bit. There's a new camp there, which great that they do something that no Friday the 13th movie has done. They opened the fucking camp.
They brought the kids.
There are kids. And so this movie is funny, scary. The stakes are higher. Like I say funny because one of the best lines in that movie for me is where Jason is on the run, is running amok in the camp, and you have the two boys under the bed, and the one looks over to the other and goes, "So what did you want to be when you grew up?" Hilarious. Oh my God. It's so funny. That line makes me laugh so hard.
And then you get Alice Cooper tying it in with a couple of songs. Man Behind the Mask is in that movie several times. One when they're at the camp unloading the car with the groceries, it's playing on the boombox. The other one behind Karloff's general store, Megan's listening to it in her car when she's talking to Tommy.
Dude, I've been listening to that song the last 4 weeks because it's on my spooky Spotify list. Dude, what a banger. What a fucking banger.
That song's, I will not deny that song is on a couple of my playlists on Spotify.
It's so good. He's back. He's the man behind the mask. Like you're like I feel like a groupie girl. Just I want to scream like ah!
Like they put it in the video game. It's the end credits game.
I thought that was so cool, but it's such a good song. Like I have to say that this is another thing about Friday the 13th. They have the best tribute songs. Ice Nine Kill had Thank God for Fridays. Great song. Straight up banger. Then they did the Jason's Mom song I sent you, which song cracks me up.
That's hilarious. That song is hilarious. Please, guys, anybody listening, look it up. It's hysterical.
Jason's Mom, it's so funny. You can tell those guys are hardcore fans because they're like, I don't want to reveal it. Just listen to it. But anyways, this movie, man, this movie has it all. It's a whole package. Let me give you the floor to talk about it a little bit real quickly because I know you love this movie. We haven't waited 2 episodes to talk about this movie, and then I'm going to do all the talking.
I love this movie so much that when we go down to visit my father-in-law in Florida during Christmas, we drive through Atlanta. We actually drive out to Covington, Rutland, and Madison. Covington is where the downtown is filmed. That's where the sheriff's office is. Rutland, Hard Labor Creek State Park, Camp Daniel Morgan. Little secret, when it's not rented, go up there, just be respectful of it. Don't be one of those guys that are going to jack the place up or they'll stop doing this. But you go into the camp office, call ahead because, we'll talk about where there was a potential sequel where I couldn't get into the camp. And that's right when the wall shoot hit. But literally, you walk in there. Hey, my favorite movie was shot over there. I just want to take a couple pictures. They're for my own personal use, not public use, because then there's a whole other series of stuff. You give them their driver's license. They give you a code to the gate. You go right on back, spend an hour, walk around the cabins, and just take it in. That whole road going back is where they filmed the paintball scene, the 2 head counts, where it's the first 2 victims after the grave scene. I mean, and if you're walking back that road, you get the chills, literally. You can just you can hear like the wildlife and stuff. You just start looking around.
Dude, that is, I mean, for you as a Friday fan, that's like walking into Bethlehem.
It is.
I mean, like that's amazing.
Like I said, if you respect it, they're good with it. I've been there 5 times.
Yeah, no, because like I mean, the one thing about Friday fans, especially, is just how much we love this movie and being on the sacred ground, so to speak, where the best Friday movie was made is incredible. That's so awesome, man.
Go walk on the dock of the finale. That will give you the chills.
Oh my god. So yeah, so this movie, some people know. I don't want to give too much away, even though it's been out forever. You gotta go watch this movie. This movie it's so much fun. It pokes fun at itself, especially with the James Bond entrance, which as soon as they did that, I was like, all right, this is it. This is gonna be a good one. And they had great stakes. You had the campers. You had
the car chases.
The car chases. Yeah. Or you had the deputy's laser gun. Bang.
You bang.
You bang. Yeah. Like everything about this movie was beautifully 80s. And it was just fun. And I liked this lead for Tommy Jarvis.
Yes.
Tom Matthews.
Tom Matthews. He resonates this part. And he goes on to play the character even in Never Hike Alone, Never Hike Alone 2, Never Hike Alone in the Snow. Yeah. I mean, he owns this character.
He definitely owns it. Like this character, like you know, we had two other people that portrayed it, but this is his character by all means. Like, because like Tommy's just kind of this cool like he just kind of cursed action kind of like it was like very Laurie Strode vibe,
right?
You know I mean, very Laurie Strode vibe, and that's what I think was so great to have in this franchise finally, to give Jason this kind of arch nemesis, so to speak, which to me is just great. And Mike Norris even agrees this was a much needed return. You know what I mean? It was a much needed return. John Jacob says Corey though. I mean, Corey Feldman was great. I liked him. I mean, like, but Tom Matthews, man, he owns.
One more little tidbit about Corey Feldman, since John mentioned him. So Corey, they couldn't get for part 5 because he was filming Goonies.
Yeah.
So the opening, they got him to do the opening cameo. They shot that in Corey Feldman's backyard. They actually came to his house and filmed that.
That's crazy. I remember watching that. I was like, that is lunacy. That's to me, it's just so awesome. But that's how amazing our fans are. I love this. Where the red goes, you bang. But this movie, like I said, it unfortunately was not. It was a box office hit, just wasn't the hit Paramount was expecting. And
it became more of a hit once it came to video and people started checking it out. Yeah. That's where the cult following for this film came from.
That's yes. This just didn't have the theatrical run they thought because the 5th movie just hurt it so badly. Basically, the 5th movie was what Exorcist Heretic was to the 3rd movie.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, like it just like you betrayed your fans, so fans were already writing this movie off, even though they were telling you, "Hey, Jason lives," but it's like, yeah, but you kind of made it sound like he lived in the previous movie, and then it turns out that's not the case. Because even the way they marketed it, I was watching some of the old marketing. I was like, yeah, they pretty much told you. they pretty much told you he was alive, and they lied to you. They lied. I mean, it's kind of what Halloween Ends did, where they were like the showdown of the century, and it's like, no, we just had we got what 10 minutes of a showdown. No, shut up.
Yeah, right. So there's an interesting thing. So the actress Carrie Noonan, who played Paula, the one that gets like destroyed by Jason in that cabin, that you don't see it, but you see the aftermath of the cabin. Mm-hmm. She auditioned for a movie called Birthday Bash the next year. Mm-hmm. And she was up against a character called Ethan. And then all of a sudden, when she was auditioning, she realized, oh, wait a minute, I've already been in this movie. This is A New Blood.
I forgot they did that all the time. I forgot they never made the names the way they were supposed. Yeah, I forgot Birthday Bash is New Blood. Yeah.
Well, you had to do that because one, for secrecy, but two, when they went to the town of Madison, I mean, that cemetery, like when you go to it, the upper portion of that cemetery still looks the same. The wrought iron's there. If you hold your camera right in the air, you can actually match the camera shot when Tommy's running through the fences.
Oh, that's so cool.
But for that movie, they were big Bowie fans in the time. So part 3 was Crystal Japan, part 5 was Repetition, and part 6 was Aladdin Sane.
Yep. I loved how even the fifth movie as repetition was not repetition. You totally fucked us. Repetition would have been Jason showing up. So
Right.
it's like y'all need a thesaurus or a dictionary or something because that wasn't repetition, my friends. But I digress. But this
But
movie,
as a horror fan, though, there was plenty of nods to it. I mean, you had the town of Carpenter, you had
oh,
Cunningham Road, you had Karloff's General Store, Sissy for Sissy Spacek, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, there was they had
Or
so
that was Carrie. I'm sorry. Yeah.
no. I get
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're saying the actress instead. No, I got it. Yeah, no, this movie was kind of a cool little love letter to horror movie fans as well. And this movie, in my opinion, is so influential, and it was a huge impact on the horror genre. And the fact that like without this movie, I don't think we'd have got movies like Scream and all these meta humor horror movies that we got later on. You know what I mean? Like this movie was, I think, one of the first major franchise movies to kind of play with this idea. You know what I
And it
mean?
also broke the fourth plane when the gravedigger like looks at the camera like who does he think I am? Some kind of fart head, and then you get all the kids screaming, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie felt like a Halloween treat for the fans. It felt like this is a movie you would watch, like, and I think that's why this movie is so affectionately loved. That's why it's so cult. It gave us a great jump. It gave us a great Tommy. Jason was great. Maggot Head, gotta love that name when he
Yeah.
throws it out there. And it feels so great when he throws it back out there and never hike it alone. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
It feels so good, like yeah, because they all but tell you it's Tommy. They're like, oh, it's Tommy, and you're probably like, is his last name Jarvis? Is his last
Yeah.
name? Yeah, like we're not sure yet. But when he says it, you're like, that's Jarvis.
That's Jarvis right there.
Yeah, because you're not sure if this is like, yeah, he's in the movie, but he's not that character. Because up until that point, movies have done that so many times. But anyways, I digress. But anyways, so let's go on. So is there anything else you want to say before we move on? Like I said, we can go on forever.
No, I'm actually now that the lawsuit is done, Tom McLaughlin has he's got apparently another script that picks up like right after Jason Lives to take the timeline kind of in a different way. I think that's where we get the notion of Never Hike Alone in the Snow, but I also think that might be the sequel for the reboot that didn't happen because I think the first victim was found under the ice.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say here's the next movie, but, but that's I was like, so the next movie, everybody, is this one. But we will get to that.